Russians are fleeing occupied Crimea en masse, which is inspiring Ukrainians. Our citizens have no doubt that the Crimean bridge will be destroyed, and with it, their connection to the terrorist state. Deputy Chairman of the Majlis of the Crimean Tatar people, Akhtem Chigaz, stated this on Apostrophe TV. This inspires our citizens in Crimea. This story of the outsiders. They constantly told them there would be no freebies and that they would never feel at home here. Our actions confirm their views. The Crimean bridge is full. The roads are full. Chigaz explained. According to the deputy head of the Majlis, Russians can be expelled from Crimea only according to one principle. They will only use one principle: fear and panic. And we need to do that. The Crimean bridge has already become such a clear sign for our citizens in Crimea. No one doubts anymore that the time will come when this connection with that terrorist state will be severed, Chigaz emphasized. In this case, Ukrainians' underground resistance movement Atesh said its agents conducted reconnaissance of a Russian Black Sea Fleet Special Forces unit in Sevastopol that helps guard the Kerch Bridge, a key supply route linking occupied Crimea with Russia. According to the group's statement on Telegram, Atesh agents surveyed the territory of the 102nd Separate Special Purpose Detachment, a unit specialized in countering underwater sabotage forces. The operation reportedly took place in the Konstantinovka Bay area of Sevastopol. The partisans said they recorded the movement of a rubber boat carrying Russian Special Forces soldiers who were likely returning from a combat mission. They also documented a military vehicle and several troops accompanying the returning unit. Atesh claimed to have mapped the locations of all piers, observation posts, boats, and vehicles within the compound. The group added that this information had been transferred to Ukraine's defense forces for potential strikes. The statement emphasized that destroying this unit could weaken the protection of the Kerch Bridge, a vital logistical link for Russian troops in occupied Crimea, and reduce the Russian military presence on the peninsula. At the time of publication, Russian authorities had not commented on the claim. Atesh, which operates in occupied territories and within Russia, has previously reported several acts of sabotage and intelligence gathering against Russian forces in Crimea. In September, Kiev Post reported that the Russian Black Sea Fleet submarine Rostov-on-Don, struck twice by Ukrainian forces, has been raised, but no repairs have started. According to Atesh, the group said the vessel is currently docked at one of Sevastopol's bays in occupied Crimea and remains out of service, suggesting the damage may be too severe to justify restoration in terms of resources and time. Atesh agents claim to be monitoring key bays and facilities of the Russian fleet. They said that after successful Ukrainian strikes, Russian forces are in a panic, covering equipment with camouflage nets, moving assets only at night, and keeping air defenses on constant alert. Twice damaged by strikes of Ukraine's defense forces, thanks in part to our agents. It's still not restored, Atesh wrote. Russia's military-political leadership may agree to end the war if the continuation of hostilities threatens them with the loss of statehood. Expert from Ukraine Vitaly Partnikov stated this on Espresso TV. Polish Foreign Minister Sikorski is right when he says that any country gets exhausted during a long war, even one as large and with such a population as Russia. Of course, if the West were not helping Ukraine, there would be no such danger for Russia. Russia could have waged a slow war for many years and then taken advantage of the result. However, Russia is fighting, one might say, against the financial system and the defense industry of the civilized world. Therefore, at a certain point, Russia may not have enough strength to continue the war. And indeed, an economic collapse may occur in Russia. Portnikov explained. The journalist emphasized that Russia may face a dilemma: either end the war or use nuclear weapons. He believes that such a choice will sooner or later confront the leadership of the Russian Federation. By the way, we often compare modern Russia with what happened to the Russian Empire. However, it seems to me that a better analogy would be Germany during the First World War. Germany capitulated to the Entente powers when there was not a single Allied soldier on its territory. What's more, German soldiers were located in many countries around the world at that time. The military-political leadership of Germany then understood that if things continued this way, the country would be destroyed and Allied troops would calmly reach Berlin. They decided it was better to capitulate early but not lead to a complete collapse of statehood. I think this could also happen in Russia. At some point, they may conclude that if they continue to fight this way, Russia will face a dilemma: either use nuclear weapons or agree that the war must end. I don't know what Russia will choose, but such a choice will come sooner or later. He added, what is happening is very worrying for Russia's military-political leadership. Many of them want President Vladimir Putin to end the war because the situation in the country is critical. Russia's economy is paying growing costs for its expensive war against Ukraine. With Trump back in office in the United States, the new American administration is busy with reaching a quick deal to end the devastating war that harmed not only Ukraine but also Russia. The weakness of Russia's economy could be a decisive factor to force it into negotiations on the West's terms, rather than those of the aggressor. Russia's rapid economic growth is heavily fueled by war spending rather than sustainable productivity. Meanwhile, rising wages have contributed to soaring inflation, which the central bank has struggled to contain. Both citizens and industrialists are feeling the pressure. Food prices are climbing, and doing business is becoming less profitable. Some economists caution that Russia may not just be muddling through, but slowly slipping towards stagflation, a dangerous mix of economic stagnation and high inflation.